You were best mates with Tupac from when you were
Mhm.
in year 10, which is the cutest thing in the world. And you call him like a little pea head, like you knew him from when he was so young. You have like a proper relationship with him. It wasn't just a relationship born out of fame. But what I
Right.
wanted to ask you about is that he obviously passed away, and that was a shocking time for you, as it would be for anyone who lost one of their best friends. And you say in your book, this is when you found out that he had been murdered. My knees buckled, I nearly fell to the floor. My whole system crashed and I lost my breath for a moment. I never once saw myself on this planet without him here, somewhere on it. I felt a huge piece of love for me leave the world. A part of myself gone. In its place was rageful sadness. Pac had been a mirror, a reflection of the best of myself, a tether. My heart felt ravaged, like a million stabbings every second. How do you move through something like that, and something in such a public forum?
Yeah, that was September 13th. He died. A loss like that, like people are always looking for the moment that you get over it. I hear that so often when people are in the pain of mourning. Like, when will I be over this? And I'm like, you don't really get over it per se. You just learn how to be with it.
Mm.
Right. And I think as the years have gone on, I've learned how to have acceptance. I've learned that there's just so much mystery in this universe, and just trusting that God knows best and that all is well. And that takes time. It just takes time. I mean, it's taken me years, years, decades to make peace with his death, the way in which he died.
Mm.
I think when you have a loved one that is murdered publicly, loss is loss, but when you have someone that is murdered publicly in that way, someone who is as famous as Tupac is, it lingers in a different way,
Mm.
because you're constantly reminded. Yeah, it just takes a lot of time. It's a very layered process depending on the circumstances.
Mm.
But I'm just grateful that, I've made peace with it.
How? I mean, you have had quite a lot of loss in your life. How do you move? How does one move, like especially with the pack stuff, from anger to acceptance with that?
You know, that's when I really deepened my spiritual practice and I had to surrender my arrogance in me believing that I knew better than the great supreme.
Mm.
The way knows the way. And I might not like it. It might not suit me, my fancy. But guess what? That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
And so once I started to really deepen my surrender and understand that the great supreme knows way better, that universal intelligence, and really trusting and also believing that Pac is where he's meant to be. He
Mm.
served his purpose. His fate was what it was,
Mm.
what it is, and that the great supreme makes no mistakes,
Mm. It's so true.
and really having to release me thinking I know better.
If you want to hear the full interview, search a Life of Greatness podcast out now.